marble, her lips so kissable and poisonous. I know she won't be good for me, but I don't care, 'cause I know it's so rare for a guy like me to get a chance with a girl like her, and I won't waste that chance. 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 She got me like. Her looks, I assume they come with a price. She's smiling, but that may just be a disguise. I wanna say hi, but I'm scared she'll kill me. Could we? Will we? Would she? Probably not. But I don't care, 'cause I know it's so rare for a guy like me to get a chance with a girl like her, and I won't waste that chance. 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 She got me low.
That was up 42% year over year. That was good. Household and wellness products, that was up 53% year over year. So those things were okay. Maybe some concern on the street about how their diaper business did, but the company did report an operating loss despite those big gains. $4.1 million operating loss for the company. And just gauging
what happens in that specific okay, someone is saying that my mic is not good. Hopefully it's good now. Let me just check quickly. What happens in that specific okay, someone is saying that my mic is not good. Hopefully it's good now. Let me just check quickly. All right, so sorry about that. I think I was totally mute on the whole run. For some reason, my mic didn't start working. Now I just checked it again, and now it should be okay. But anyway, what I was discussing about was that the futures are still undecided today. The 10-year yield is down a little bit compared to yesterday. It was up over 5% yesterday. Now it's minus 1.2. Also, the discussion that some of the futures are basically still declining because of the rate hikes and this kind of thing. Yeah, nothing really interesting at this side. Let's have a look at some of the pre-markets before we actually start talking about individual stocks, as always. So yeah, and again, if you have any specific stock that you want us to check, by all means, just type it down and I'll get to them one by one. For now, what I can say is that let's just have a check of the market. What is this? Minus 90%. Oh, there was a split on TTD. So I think that should be because of that one. So yeah, so it's the minus 89%. That's basically misleading. There has been I think 5-1 split. Was that so? 10-1. Yeah. Okay. Now it makes sense. It was 590. Now it's 90. So yeah, it's actually a little bit up. But anyway, AMC is pre-market just a little bit down. It's 53.3, and we have 7 minutes before. I also want to find another stock if we can actually day trade today at the open. Let's see. Let's check some of the winners today. So we have Sunrun again at 4.7%. It's moving higher. There is just above it, just below the 200 EMA. I'm not sure if I want to take that. There's not much of a green, really. Like the greens are really small, so nothing really is moving today. And some of the momentum stocks are down. So quite mixed day. It can always change. I would say it's a slightly more into the red compared to green. Jibo picks as human resources chief. I don't know if that is a very important news or not. We can see Adobe is actually earning has earning release. Kroger as well. The rest not really important for me. So let's see what happens there. Let's check. Yeah. Actually, one of the stocks that I have been looking is Yada. It's an electric scooter basically company in China. It has been working between this basically wedge, and it got bounced off here, so it was a good opportunity to go. Still, the longer trend is not reversed, but I'm gonna hold this till 25 actually, or 22 range. Like, I guess 22 is a very good point. You can always, of course, put your take profit at different levels, but there's not much I mean, chart wise, from technical analysis point of view, there is not much of a down side compared to the amount of upside that it has. The lowest point it got was here, so it has 14% down, but the upside is actually 40%, and it can of course go to higher as well. So that is one of the stocks that I have been watching. One of the other stocks that got actually some sort of a I mean, it's almost at a buy point. It did not happen yet, but maybe tomorrow we will get this basically entry signal. So what happens is that you're gonna have a cross below zero line here, and it's just above the 200 EMA. You can use 200 EMA as a and we have some 2655 already. It's because of some previous support there, so you can use that as your stop point, and then you can see that both long term and if this also crosses, then you can have a very good opportunity to actually have a big rally here. I would say this rally, based on how it's looking, if it happens, then it has at least 14% upside. But of course, it can also go up as 26% if it gets back to those high levels. I think, of course, compared to many United States stocks, the Chinese stock has always this basically how to say, risk of dealing with China, like the relationship between China and United States. So let's look at Daniel Welch. Let's see what he's talking about the market.
COVID-19 pandemic. Let's just look at April CPI to get a better feel for where I'm coming from in that regard. First, 3 specific components accounted for half the surge we saw in CPI during the month of April, those being airfare, lodging, and used vehicle prices, 2 of which are associated with the great reopening and that increase in demand for services that hasn't been met by an increase in the supply of demand in goods and services just yet. And second, of course, being that supply chain interruption, specifically around semiconductors, that's affecting new car availability. Those pressures are likely to become a little bit more muted as we get through the summer months. But again, inflation will be present, and investors would be wise to position their portfolios accordingly.
Kevin, you think the market rallies into the Fed's Jackson Hole event where they could signal when they will begin?
I will check Tilray after market close, after market open.
Yesterday, in corporate America, we like to have meetings to discuss when we're going to have our next meeting. He indicated that they had discussions yesterday about having future discussions around tapering back their bond purchases. I think the market is now anticipating there'll be some form of an announcement about the gradual reduction in the size of their balance sheet, but I would be very surprised if that took place anytime in the near future in terms of actually enacting that type of scale back. Perhaps by the end of 2021 into the first half of 2022 is when we'll start to see those bond purchases being scaled back, certainly much before any potential increases in the Fed funds target rate, which again are not until 2023 at the earliest, even according to the updated dot plot chart.
All right, we got about 40 seconds here until we get the opening bell on this Thursday morning. Again, markets continuing to digest some of that commentary that we got from Chair Powell yesterday. We got the dot plot as we were just discussing, those economic projections, also the Fed upgrading its outlook for GDP growth this year, also increasing its expectations for inflation over the balance of 2021, and a little uptick as it looks at 2022. We see there live pictures from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Skillsoft set to ring the opening bell here on this Thursday morning. We chatted with the CEO of Skillsoft just a couple days ago right here on our air, and there we see the bell from the floor as we get this trading session underway. Futures pointing to slight losses at the open. We'll see where things shake out as we get some opening indications on the averages and some of the key stocks in this market. Kevin, let's talk a little bit about just the market setup right now. And
all right, let's have a quick look at some of the market moves today. Again, first of all, TTD is actually doing a 1-to-10 split. So that is about that. It is actually going down. Let's go to lower time frame and check that. Yeah, it got crazy because the values are now crazy on this. But let's keep it at 4. We have Corsair. It's actually moving. Tattooed Chef is lower. You can see the clear movement actually towards some of these stocks, most of them going into the red area. It's not sure yet. We have Roblox is actually up 3.2%. Sunrun the same thing. Ford the same thing. So let's see if we can actually have something on Ford here. Let me just check if if I can. So here we have 42 cents. So let me put this at 1 minute. Okay, so Ford is looking good. I'm gonna prepare if it continues to take a position for a like quick trade here. It's here. Okay, it's not going up now. Like we have so this is the point. If it goes up, the volume isn't looking really good right now. Let's go 1 minute here. Let's keep the volume. It's actually good. Setup looks good. We have a narrow state between 20 and 200, but stock is not going where I want it to go. Let's check some previous. Let's go to 10. Do we have? Yes, we have actually some level here as the resistance. So this will be my entry, but here we have a resistance. So if it passes up that one, then we're gonna go. It never got there, so it is basically going lower than that. Not giving us a trade here. Let me just quickly see if we have something else. Yeah. You have Workhorse up 2.6%. Maybe that is a good one, but yeah, sorry, I will get back to you as soon as we are done with this trade. I will have a look at that, but for now it is. Yeah, it's not really looking good here. Run Workhorse. How's Workhorse working? If I go 1 minute, that is not working good either. So basically they are mostly going down. Nothing really crazy here. So it is stuck between this bound for now, so let's see. No, how I do it is that I will after the first 2 minutes, and it should be in a setup that 20 SMA is above 200. It's on a moving uptrend. This is also in a moving. This one shouldn't be in a upward moving trend. But after the 2 minutes, I will set it. I will go start my position here after the top, and my stop loss will be here. Then it will go after there is a red covered by next green, so I will actually enter again. But right now it's really not moving that much, I think. I mean, right now when the initial move was not done, I prefer this to come back to 200 SMA, and that will be a much safer play for me. So, but I don't know. I can, of course, always go with a small portion, so I shouldn't do it like crazy. But actually, this is now our new set. It's just that I don't like this setup. I'm waiting for this one. This is too close. This has previously acted as a resistant in previous days, so I'm gonna respect that a little bit. I'm at the same time checking if there is any stock really moving up or down. Well, the stocks are moving higher. I think Workhorse, just look at Workhorse. Now this one moved. We went to the other one and now this one moved. So from my style, it will be like here. Yeah. So after this, I would have taken this trade, and of course it didn't happen. Well, what can I do? I know. If I was on top of the other one, then this one would have run. But I mean, you can't really. I mean, honestly, these are very quick kind of trades that you make. So you would have basically risked how much? Almost 22 cents, and you would have gone for, I mean, I think this one, if there's a move, then it can move higher, but usually you would just put your stop loss and move your stop loss with that. So there's no way after some time you're gonna lose money. It's just that it's just gonna come back and then hit your stop loss. So and that is the good way that I like about this. But honestly, yeah, I think it's not a really fantastic trade either. It's coming back, I guess. Let's have a look at AMC. How is AMC work doing? AMC is minus 2.7%. It's still struggling, but it had covered a little bit of the losses. So let's see. I've seen many times now that initial at the start it goes up a little bit and then it, like for some minutes, and then it comes back, and after some time it starts rallying up again. It has been doing that consistently, these momentum stocks. For me, it is usually when there is a catalyst, when there is a movement, when there is volume. This is really like the first 12 minutes is really the key for these kind of quick trades. But of course, you have more risk always considered with that. It's just that it usually works. I've lost twice on AMC's trade when I did that, but in recently. So I was hoping that Ford can actually, yeah, Ford didn't work either. Now this is away from 200 because I call this a power play. This is basically the very strong movement that comes and takes the first 2 minutes. And then after this, at this point, you put another buy. So you would have made something, and then with this red big candle, you could have like come out. But this was not a great trade anyway, even if you would have taken it. Run is actually moving more. I mean, it's too late for these kind of, I wanted the initial volume in these trades. Yeah, Run is the one looking good here, but yeah, we are past that. It's not gonna happen now. But let's have a look at the stocks again. No, I will come out if it hits my stop loss that I created. So after 2 minutes, the top of that will be my entry, the bottom of that will be my basically stop loss. And we never got triggered into Ford. So as we looked like here, we drew the lines. So it was initially here. It never cut that, but usually then if it basically covers the top of the next red, and that will be this. Again, it never happened and it just went back down. So this is basically the setup that I was looking for, and it didn't happen. Right, let's have a look if there is anything going on. USD is going down compared to other currencies, and someone is asking about Tilray. Let's have a look at Tilray. Yay. Let's have a look at Tilray. Okay, not 1 minute, I love 4 hours. So what is happening with Tilray? Tilray is bobbing around 200 EMA the past day or so. Okay, so I first talk about generally about the trade, if there's any trade. Simply, there is no trade here now. Even if you want to take a trade, it is more selling than buying for this one. But again, of course, it's not a perfect setup. It's a good setup, but you know, you could see that this line is actually, you know, plateauing. So it's really in a a straight line. It's not really increasing its power. You can see it also from these power lines here or histogram. And but anyway, this is going down, but it got somehow slowed down. You can see it here, and this is, even if you want to take a trade, it's not a buy. I wouldn't even sell this, so just wait before you do anything. But about Tilray, I think Tilray has become the biggest basically cannabis play after merging with Afaria. But the point is that right now cannabis is really in a bad state. I think it will get its run again when there is more legislations coming about, like allowing cannabis in different states. So I think it will get its turn. And the next thing is that Tilray is the biggest one, and in my opinion, cannabis is a very low margin kind of stock. So the cost, the logistics will play a big role. That's why I'm really into the idea that the biggest stocks in basically cannabis plays will do better than the other. So that's why I'm in Tilray. I think I bought it in a very bad position because I thought that it will go back, but it was a, of course, mistake. But I'm not selling that yet because I think it will get back to it. I hope that answered your question there. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I'm actually at the same time both on YouTube and Twitch, so yeah. Yeah, you can follow me on both. Sounds good, sounds good. Okay, economic recovery in focus. What are these guys talking about?
Each month for the past few months, past 4 months, that is a much higher pace than the.
I'm not really interested in that. Let's look at some of the stocks that we are in this channel at least focusing on recently. Let me bring out my list. That is the list. Always make a list, guys, and that will help you. These are my top stocks that I am really looking into establishing, like adding to my position. I have all of them. I think Square, Crowd, and Net are not at the buying zone at all. Qualcomm is not at 120, but Etsy and Qualcomm both are very close. Let's start with them. Let's start with Etsy. All right. So Etsy, what is happening with Etsy? So one of the crucial part is that Etsy has been moving in this upward channel, and it has been 1, 2, almost 3, 4, 5 times hit by this lower lane. It is waiting for its next big move. I of course expect Etsy in long term to go up. The earning, everything about this company is fantastic. I don't think there is really any problem in that sense. Even when you look at their latest earnings, it has just had a clean record. This one was a mess, but anyway, it had a very good record, and they are increasing both their revenue and their earning. So in that sense, I'm really happy to add to my current position. And honestly speaking, I think if I wait, I'm gonna miss more of this movement. It's just that I still want to wait. I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't have much money to spend anyway, so I'm gonna actually really wait for a good opportunity to add to something if I really want to add something. So that is at least my idea of that. All right, so let's check the next one. What was the next one? Qualcomm. This is one of the stocks in my really low PG ratio, with low PG ratios. This is, I mean, not crazy low. It's 0.92, so not really low in that sense, but fantastic growth prospect. It is in a very good range, and April. So I think these locations, like you can really buy this. It's still in a buy zone, and it's just that, again, when I was looking, I added a little bit at this point because I thought that this will now go up. This is a very straight line. It has been for a long time, really just playing here and there. So if it goes down a little bit, I will happily add a proper amount to this one. But I guess all of the Chinese stocks are somehow bit by that. Speaking of Chinese stocks, the next one is Baidu that I want to check. Ooh. Will it get back to this 178 range? I don't know. I don't know. This is one of the other ones that I think, and it had a good news actually today. Maybe it's hard to find it like that. Let's check Baidu like this. Baidu. So to launch Apollo Moon Robo taxis at affordable production prices. So I anyway thought that this will have a bigger effect. I'm still waiting for my entry signal for this one. I mean, for me, if I want to keep something long term, I prefer to keep Google, especially considering the fact that I really believe in Google, because I really believe, or I have more anticipation for the YouTube part of Google, because I guess YouTube's revenue will double as if it's growing like this, and that is something that people just do not consider or underestimate. That's my opinion. Of course, I'm not saying that it will be correct or it will be happening, but I prefer to keep Google at long term. But speaking of long term, I mean, even if you are looking at a trade, this is a fantastic position. It is at a good, I mean, you're basically buying it at prices of around end of 2020. So it has cooled down. There is a possibility that it comes back to this one. That's why I'm not gonna put all the money in this one here. So I will add a little bit, and after we pass the 200 EMA, come back to it and then go back, then I will add the rest. Otherwise, I will keep some money to add at this point. And this is for those of you, people who asked me all the time, what is the one trick that you, or one suggestion, one tip that you can give us that works the best. Just never become overconfident in any stock that you pick, and always allow some room for yourself to add to that position later on. I myself sometimes do not have that discipline to do that, and more than usual that you think, I will say that I wish I would have done it that way. Always keep some money, nibble into position. When they go to the positions that you really like, then you can actually add more to it. But even if they don't, it doesn't matter. You just earned less, but then you are more confident in the positions that you're taking. In my opinion, in the long term, and it's not my opinion, based on the data that I gather from my own performance, the trades that I always put more room to it, it always earned me more money than conditions that, because of FOMO, I just put everything in it and I say that, hey, everything is now perfect. I mean, right now anyway, I don't have a lot of money to spend into buying the stocks now, but I'm actually waiting for after September or starting September, when things gonna be, hopefully these inflation fears will go away. That's where we're gonna see actually stocks move up, and that's where I want to actually take some profit out. But till that time, I'm not really a seller. I know that for a fact many people are staying out of the market now. I usually do not believe in that. I understand keeping some cash, but I know people, crazy famous people who are 80%, 90% cash. And in my opinion, that's just not working. I don't believe in that kind of style, because you're gonna miss really the big moves there. Okay, let's have another look. We have CLF is down actually on its 3%, ECF, Tattoo Chef, AMC is still struggling, not really a lot of movement here. Let me see the volume. Yeah, nothing really happening here. FCX, gold got crazy. Just look at gold. Ooh. I mean, when you look at these things, it really sells some weird signals. Gold is supposed to be your inflation hedge, the famous inflation hedge. Yet when you look at gold, you can see clearly that after this news, it is going down. I understand if there is a clear selling pressure in the market. When the VIX goes up and people start to panic selling, gold also, even if for inflation reasons, gold also drops. That's the way it works. Because when people are selling, they just sell everything. They want to stay in cash. And after some time, that initial fear goes away, then people start to putting money into gold, precious metals, and so on. Right now, look at gold. It just got crazy. It got battered. How is the silver? Silver is minus 3%. Ooh, that is a big move. Yeah, this is a really big move. I mean, if really silver and gold continue to go down, I might actually add some leverage position, although I do not like to use leverage. I usually don't, because I want to actually have the capability to keep my positions. 36, 18%, of course, Nvidia. Let's check Nvidia. Yeah, 2% up. 2% up. I mean, this here would have been the perfect setup. You have the long term moving up, you have the cross at the lower time frame, and then everything is happening above 200 EMA. This would have been your entry, and I mean till here 14%. This would have been gain. Then you could have put some, like you could have taken half of the position out, and from this point on you could have like some stop loss ready and then keep the move until it goes out. So yeah, that's Nvidia. That's why let's check AMD. Okay, AMD is going up as well, 3% up AMD. Then Qualcomm is 0.6. Yeah. Let me check something. If I want to put this and this RSI, yeah, 0 shows on, it's 70 and then 30. It's 54. It's just that it's really at a critical position. Yeah. Fundamentally, I think Qualcomm will move higher. Trading, based on technical analysis, I think it should come down a little bit, or at least I don't have a buy signal yet, so I'm gonna wait on that. That's the best way it can happen. Full leading fashion industry. What is that? Fashion portfolio. Interesting. What do they have there? Let's view them. I mean, honestly, I just want Lululemon, Nike, and like Adidas. These are the ones that I'm looking, not other stuff. Let's see. Zalando, Farfetch. These are the companies. I mean, Farfetch, Zalando, and Etsy. They're of course, not because of their fashion that I'm in them. I think their e-commerce business is really good. Yeah, how has been the performance of them? It has done good, of course it has done good, but yeah, not really something that I'm looking forward to actually go crazy on it. At least not my way of dealing with that. There were actually some videos that I wanted actually to share with you guys, but I don't know if that's if we do it right now or I wait for. There were really good information about this. Basically, Fed raising the tax, not tax, sorry, raising the interest rates. So that would be something interesting. I still think Qualcomm will follow the other guys there, but let's see. Xpeng is up again, 6%. Where's NIO? Where is my NIO? Oh, NIO only 2.6. I mean, part of me wanted for stocks to go a little bit lower, but that's stupid because I have more money invested than money available to add. But anyway, I mean, there are some settings like this one. There are many of the plays that I have that they are in a very they're in a stage that I want them to go just a little bit lower and then come back, and that will be like from TA, that will be a good entry for me. But these things, some of them, they're just keeping like going up and up. So I mean, again, I have more money invested, so it's better this way. Just that I want to put all my money into some stocks, but maybe it's a good decision. Maybe it's not the best decision to put everything you have, in a sense. NNDM. What is NNDM doing? NNDM is Nano Dimension 3D printing company. Yeah, it has obviously been in this downtrend. I don't know. I don't see a line to really draw, but I don't really. I mean, not really a line that you can draw here. At least I don't see much. I'm just trying to see if I can find something. Not really. Not really. Not really. I'm not gonna draw these now, but obviously this is on a basically a downtrend. It has tried to break down from that trend a couple of times, could not. In a longer time frame, on weekly, this is the decline in this obviously is slowing down, which is a good news. What we want is we want a little bit clear, like at some point of support, near support, we want to have these bigger movements happening. This is, let me remove this. So where is this one? This is the lowest one. Then this one is, yeah, a couple of times. That is good. Yeah, these are good. These are good lines now. So okay, I will buy this, but not right now. The signal for me is that I mean, some would can argue that this is creating a bull flag here, but again, okay, so what this looks to me is that this one could have come actually to this support line, and by that time you could have had basically, I mean, it's still not late. It could happen. It can play like this and then arrive at this point at some point. And then you will have this cross that basically you have again your breather, your pullback, your retracement, whatever you want to call it, and then we would start a new rally there. But then again, of course, we always have to wait for the price action to talk. I mean, prediction, of course, you can do all you want. It doesn't make any sense until there is actually a move. We're talking about, see, Baidu again. So, Baidu is slowing down, is downtrend, but not enough that I am actually confident in taking a position. I mean, it doesn't matter if it goes up, then okay, that's a good thing, especially if it breaks this one and then comes back again, then you can actually take some position here. But if it starts to go up, then I don't know. I'm not a chaser, really. So that would be a very useful way to do. What? Something else? DraftKings. Okay. So very interestingly, the Hindenburg research is not pulling this down. It's not pushing it up yet. So it's a little bit interesting point in my opinion. It can be still in the accumulation phase where people actually trying to put more and more basically money into this, but it needs a couple of movements like this for the accumulation. But I don't see a clear direction right now with this one. I mean, I wanted this to come back here because the research that we had basically no concrete evidence of problem from DraftKings. And honestly speaking, their claims were weird. So I think that made people a little bit confused in that sense. So we are not sure until, of course, we really see some price movement. We can still wait and see what happens. But if you're talking fundamentally about DraftKings, I actually have DraftKings. I actually bought it even at higher prices. Then I nibbled down a little bit as it was moving down. But the price target for this one is $80-90. That's what happens, and it only works if it passes these kind of accumulation periods where people are starting to actually add to their positions a long time. There was this news that there was because of the new legislation and allowing basically betting rules and things like that. So people were really discussing the fact that there will be higher revenue estimates for all the betting stocks, and this includes Penn National Gaming and also other like GNOG is another one. Speaking of that, let's also check GNOG if it's moving up or down. All right. So again, GNOG for me is a good stock. I think in the reopening you will hear more of that, but this is a good place. I mean, 1230 for me is a good place to add, and then again keep some money, and you can actually add more if it comes down. Could be that it doesn't come back all the way to 1013, but you can start nibbling down as it comes down. So that would be another way actually to deal with that. Right, let's see if there is anything in market economic outlook. Let's hear a little bit about it.
Markets, labor markets really in particular. So what we know down the road is that the central bankers get less comfortable with that sort of thing. Maybe they don't get back to anything like we saw in 2017 or 18, but it seems to us that tacking on a few rate hikes here and there, whether it's by the Fed or other central banks, is pretty prudent, and we think it's pretty likely. So looking forward 12, 18, 24 months, those forecasts get a lot more comfortable. Month to month, really no one knows. You can't tell what the next payrolls report's going to be, plus or minus a couple 100,000, or the next inflation print, plus or minus a few tenths.
And Mike, quickly before we let you go, Jackson Hole tends to be a big moment for Fed watchers. Feel to you like that is building to another event where we could get that signal on tapering, as was almost sort of suggested yesterday?
It's possible, Miles. It seems a little bit too soon to us. And the reason I say that is that there is still so much yet to be learned about the labor market. I just said it would strengthen. I'll stand by that. But I think we'll have a better picture in terms of how that works when all these supplemental unemployment benefits go away, and also when kids go back to school. So figure that September timeframe, so we get those data points in October. So Jackson Hole, maybe, yeah, big stage, a lot of attention, but it seems like it's probably a couple months early to us.
All right, Mike Schumacher, Senior Macro Strategist over at Wells Fargo. Mike, appreciate the time. I know we'll be in touch. All right, coming up on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about some of those numbers coming out of TikTok's huge pandemic boost. Back with more on that right after this.
All right, so AMS is one of the other stocks that I'm looking into to start a position in it. I mean, I'm not sure if I will increase my position now, but this is something that looks like a good play. RSI, it's not oversold yet. but one of the things is that I expect this to come down a little bit. There is, in my opinion, this line here. So here I drew it, so you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 times it has been hit. It wouldn't be a surprise if it hits again here. And because in the longer time frame, in a higher time frame, it is getting into this, like it had a cross here, so it is going into the upward movement. It's starting that. So we want another cross here, and that would ideally happen if we come and hit this line. And there it will be a perfect, like after the cross, then hitting this line, these will be perfect basically set up for another trade, and that will be a very delicious trade in my opinion for that. So because you have the support, you have basically the 2 time frame moving upward, so it will be really interesting to see if that gets there. For now it is going down, as it should be somehow. Even if it plays down here a little bit, it comes and hits here. So let's see how it turns out. So that's another play, at least in my book right now. So Chewy, let's check Chewy. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna go into this one. It has had its had a run. It had a short pullback, and 1, 2, 3. It could be 38% Fibonacci. Then it can continue, but there is this 200 EMA has been acting as a very good resistance for this one. So let's see if it is able actually to break that. If it breaks that one, what I like to see is that it comes back to 200 EMA and then go back. So again, so this is basically the setup that we want. We want this to come up however it wants, then come back to 200 EMA. I don't know, by there it should be somewhere here, and there it would be a move to the higher. Then you can have actually here, you can actually have here your basically take profit, and that would be another good trade. But of course it's not happening yet. It could go down, so consider all these things. These are just if those kind of movement happens, so it's always good to keep that in mind, or actually write down those if you are interested, or if you can forget them easily in that sense. What else? What else? Microsoft appoints CEO Satya Nadella as chairman.
Raise its CapEx guidance, and now Ford out this morning saying that its CEO Jim Farley, who is set to speak at a Deutsche Bank industry conference today, will upgrade guidance for the second quarter. The company saying that its adjusted EBIT, so earnings before interest and taxes, essentially its profits, will come in better than expected for the second quarter of 2021. Brian Sozzi, we know that there is a huge amount of demand for cars right now. We see that in the prices for used cars, of which there are not enough right now. But the bullishness with which we see both investors reacting to these announcements from GM and Ford, and the speed with which the companies themselves seem to be both, kind of forecasting positive results now, and also saying we're investing in a much brighter future tomorrow. It is a cycle that could not be more opposite from how the auto industry came out of the last recession.
Yeah, Miles, it's dueling press releases right now between Ford and GM. GM out there yesterday raised their first half operating profit guidance, citing stronger than expected demand. They were able to pull in semiconductors ultimately and plug them into their cars and trucks and get them out the door. So that was a good thing. We're seeing some of that language being repeated at Ford here today. Ford noting the improvement in automotive is being driven by lower than anticipated costs and favorable market factors, pretty much a mirror image to what we heard from GM yesterday. And here's another fun fact, and I suspect it may surprise some folks right now on the Yahoo Finance platform. Ford shares are up 71% year to date. Tesla stock is down 14% year to date. So if you're looking through the prism of GM and Ford, at least through the prism of the stock market, it's suggesting that Ford and GM are starting to get their acts together in electric cars. And perhaps finally, Tesla is going to have some real rivals it will have to deal with later this year and moving forward.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Tesla has its own cachet, and that stock has its own story, and there's a lot of success there for a lot of shareholders over a long time. But moving outside of Tesla, and I just think of it because we've got Nikola on that board, a real glow up for a company that doesn't really have any products, getting compared to Ford, GM, and Tesla. But the speed with which automakers that had no real products and just concepts of products got billions of dollars assigned to their market value over the last few months. That energy has certainly come out of the market. And, as you note, Sazi, you can just go back and buy a good old-fashioned company like a Ford or a GM, and you're looking at these year-to-date gains, in excess of 45% for each. Ford shares up 70% so far just this year. So in a cyclical upturn over the last year, like many stocks, these two have doubled. Since during a cyclical upturn, let's say, you can go back to old boring stuff and still get some decent market returns. At least that is what the auto sector is telling us. All right, coming up on the other side of this break, we'll be speaking with Howard Marks about his views on the markets and Oaktree's $90 million.
Yeah, all right. That's interesting because I don't think Tesla's problem gonna be directly only about their cars. I think Tesla brand is already very strong, so still people are willing to get the top basically product. And of course, Tesla is a brand. It can be like Apple, in my opinion, of the electrical cars. The point is that there are also, of course, other high quality electronic devices there, but Apple is Apple. And again, I'm not really an Apple fanboy like many people are, but still Apple has its brand, and that's the same thing for Tesla. Another argument is that Tesla is not just a car company. Tesla has really built a lot of stuff around renewable energy. They're really building their charging stations. They're really doing a lot of stuff. In that sense, they're also doing a lot of basically really energy storage kind of ideas and products. And there is a lot of innovation there compared to something like Ford that has not been crazy successful in other parts. But of course, this is in the really, they are gonna take some part of the market, that's for sure. And while I think Tesla will really still go into places, but Tesla has a lot more to offer, like from really their autonomous vehicles and many other parts of that, which Tesla is one of the leaders in that sense. But obviously about electrical cars, Ford, GM, both of them are really at good places. And when you look at Ford, it's a little bit overextended, honestly. I will be more comfortable if it has a healthy pullback. But I think we may not get that. But again, I'm not a chaser of stocks. I think there's always be. Oh, hello, handsome cat. Yeah, there's always gonna be another trade for us, so I'm not really in a mood for chasing stocks just like that. Tattooed Chef, what is happening with that? Strategy launches vegetable products, whole food. There is nothing new here, so I don't know why it is actually going down. Yeah, let me check. Let me see if we have any recent news about Tattooed Chef. No one is saying. For instance, the timeline for the Ambient the Snap product, they are expected to be available Q1 2022. They're expected to produce in newly acquired Caston facility, which is due to operational by the end of. Let's see where Tattooed Chef gonna be. I actually think that these kind of pullbacks, there could be a reason for that. I don't really see it. So yeah, I'm not sure yet what's happening that is causing this move, but generally from really the chart point of view, I like when stocks have these kind of pullbacks, because nothing can just go up like that. It shouldn't be. If it happens like that, get out of it, because things that get parabolic or go up all the time, there will be a huge correction later about them. Always take some profit down. If it comes back, then of course, but always keep take some profit out of it, and you can actually have some realized profit of that. In my opinion, this is good. It's not an issue. You have a 200 EMA, which hasn't really responded well to the price movement, but the higher time frame is still in the up movement. I would be happy if it moves back below to like really around 19 range, and then from 19 range we're gonna go back up again. That would make a lot of sense in that point. So that is my take on Tattooed Chef or Tattooed Chef. Yeah, what else? Let me look another time. PDD Bio, Lemonade. Let's check Lemonade and Virgin Galactic. Lemonade. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about Lemonade either. The uptrend, it has broke down out of this lower highs and lower lows that it was making. Let me see if I can draw something here. So it was somehow in these kind of range. Not really strong actually. Yeah. Although we cannot draw a proper line on this one right now, but I think it is clear that it has been moving down, and it broke down even that level, and then it has started this run. There was a small pullback, and then up. And now again, it can be a small pullback or it can be a bigger one. We don't know. We should always wait for the price action, and then when it happens, we can actually buy exactly at that point. That would be the best way to deal with these things. Helping HBCU students excel in all investment industry. Not really interesting into that discussion. There was another one we wanted to talk about. What was that? Unity and Virgin Galactic. Let's first start with Virgin Galactic. Up another 5%. Beautiful. I actually took my, I actually sold at 32 and then took my last profit out here. That was it. And I'm out of this trade, but of course I'm always waiting for the next run for Virgin Galactic. Because of the inflation, I am actually willing to give up some of my basically more speculative stocks at lower price targets, because I want to have money to go with a little bit more basically, how to say, more not mature, but again, companies with really earnings, with proved product and method. So I will prefer to go more into that side. Let's see what else do we have here. We had Unity. Let's see if we hit that one. Yeah. 5. It's actually a very good setup. But it can always be like here it got bounced. Here, let's see the second time it get bounced or it moves up. If it moves up, then it will be okay.
The pipeline infrastructure. You go down and get that crude and bring and then transport it to your refineries, where you
what is happening?
Add that the secret sauce and turn it into finished product for sale. And that's really the mentality, the mindset.
Yeah, not interested. Goldman Sachs back confirms deal to May therapeutic public. And okay. Upholds Affordable Care Act, Nvidia, gold miners slammed hard following Fed hawkish turn. Yeah, Nasdaq are flat. Yields mixed as stock markets say after. Let me see, yield, yeah, almost minus 2%. There, what else? Apple stock a buy after closing up on Fed. Let's check Apple. Let's check Apple. Yeah, of course. Of course. This was a good place. After this, I didn't take it. I didn't take it because I was anticipating for Fed's comments, and usually those, I mean, again, it was again longer time frame. Yeah, but it's okay. I am already invested in Apple, so it's all good. It's all good, man. All right. Yeah, what is that? Okay. How long I have been doing this? I have been doing day trading and investing for over 3 years now. But I just recently started my stream, so it's not that I'm doing a lot of streams. Honestly speaking, it started just as a part of me wanting to, because I spent a lot of time by the chart. I realized that many people, when we talked on Twitch, we were actually having fun, and then I thought that, hey, I can actually do that, and then it will be fun when you're actually doing the work. So it's not really me looking at this as a job or anything, but since I'm always doing my job, which is trading, then I can all the time also talk with people and spend some time, have fun, discuss about other. I mean, there are sometimes that we have really more fundamental analysis on some of the stocks, but it can get boring. So I don't know if that's really a stuff that people like to see on the stream. So people like action, to see, hey, go buy these, take the profits here and there. So I don't know. I'm not sure if people really like me to go through these lengthy, boring stuff. I like them. I do them every now and then. But of course, I don't want to just bore everyone. I can always do it at my own time. I'm 34. I'm not a full-time trader. No, I work. I work also at my other job. The timeline is that I live in Europe, and basically I get to work around 7, so I can get out around 3:50 if. And usually after that I even go sometimes to work at 6 a.m. So especially in the pandemic, I can just start at 6 because that's the time I usually wake up. So I can actually get off the work around 3 quite easily. And then here it starts at basically 4:30 p.m. So I have plenty of time before actually starting my day trading routine here. ChargePoint. I think ChargePoint is not available on eToro. So this is one of the good stocks that I wanted to actually invest, and I cannot. And I actually really prefer to keep my, these kind of trades on eToro, because this is where I have most of my money. I've bought other stuff like a little bit of these Amazon's, Apple's, Microsoft, and other brokerages. Also, I got my AMC there because again, based on GME experience, eToro can actually close it, so I took it somewhere else. But other than that, I think it's all good like that. Nvidia, it's up 4.5%. How is my portfolio doing today? It's up 1.5%. Good. Alibaba, what is Alibaba? 211. Actually, that's a very good. I mean, it's ridiculous, really. Like, having a company as high quality as Alibaba at these prices is just ridiculous. I have already my my position in it, so I don't know if I really want to add to it anymore. But honestly speaking, this is just, I mean, do I want to have a trade here? Not really, but it's only 4%. Still on a downtrend. No, it's not a buy now. Yeah, let's do that. My job, I'm basically doing engineering, but I'm a modeling expert basically. So I do simulations, calculations based on programming, or even software simulations, analysis based on that. So that's my job. I do also like data analysis and statistical analysis as well for the result of our simulations. So those kind of stuff. Yes, I am. I'm actually. Honeywell. Yeah, Honeywell was a sell here. We actually already took the profit on Honeywell. So this was the position that we took. It's here, and this was here, and we took our profit around 1.5. I think we took it out here because there was resistance. So we took this trade here. So of course would have been better if we would have waited more, but that was a trade, and I'm happy. There will be always other trades. Take the money and run. Yeah, I actually am interested in DHI, actually, this one. I was talking about this also yesterday. It's really on a downtrend. I mean, not a downtrend, sorry. It's on a retracement breathing phase, I say. So look at this. It has been moving up, up, up. And it's very usual for these to actually come back. And when they come back, they usually have more power than to go back up. In my opinion, this is a very good time to invest in this, but my kind of investment would be, so for example, my trade position in this would have been, so it started its longer time, higher time frame breathing, it comes down and then it goes here. I don't take the position there, I don't take it here, I take it at this point. So this point here would have been my entry for DHI. So there will be long at this point exactly. I will have here, and then I will actually, I mean, you can set it based on what you want, but usually you will have it based on some market. So this will be, I mean, honestly, you have to go here, and then you would go to 1.5, and this will be your basically profit target. The problem with this is that I don't usually take trades with this much a stop loss. So I usually move this to somewhere else, to some other point that I see. So it's here, and then I can reduce this one as well. So this is my style. I mean, sometimes because of this I get out of trade. I understand it, but if you really want to go that much, I mean, even honestly, this 12%, 13% is too much for me. So you do not want to go this close to that, but this is probably the best you get out of that trade. This is generally the style that I take my positions. Yeah, I think there's not much movement at this stage. I guess many of the stocks have started. Let's have a look at NASDAQ. So you can see NASDAQ has started to move higher. Market is actually digesting the result better. Everyone is talking good about what the Fed did. Now you had a very good basically bounce at this point. It is probably, if you go to 1 hour, you could have seen it better. You had it here, but yeah, I'm not gonna buy that now. I usually work with 4 hour and 1 week time frame, or 30 hour and 4 hour time frame. These are my two time frames that I'm comfortable with. At the market open, of course, I go to 1 minute as well, but that's only for very short positions. Before logging out, let's check a couple of things. Qualcomm is moving. Should we add to that? How about Baidu? Let's go to 2 hour. No, I'm gonna wait. there is always good things coming out of waiting. You lose on some trade, it doesn't matter, just don't kill it. Sanyo Surgical, I took my profit. It came down to 140, but at the time when it got back to 2.4, because I was averaging down all the way, so I actually made maybe only 5-6% out of that. But I was actually a little bit how to say, I was a little bit was it 2.4, maybe even up here, but I was basically worried that these discussions will actually crush these smaller companies. I think this is a very good I mean, it's a company with really future, but one of the only big risk I see about this company is that they are basically dealing with Sanyo Surgical, which is what was it? I'm saying that Intuitive Surgical. So this is the company. This company is really the real deal, and I've been in this before. I sold it out, bought other stuff, but I think this is one of the cool, really healthcare plays. Also, Align Technologies. This is another one. I would be happily get back to into this one if I could get another round of down. My target, how much was my price target for Align? My Align price was, so buying point was 550 for me, so it should come somewhere around here. This is the range for me for buying this one. I don't know if it gets or not, but that's my calculation based on some fundamental analysis that I've done, and I think I'm more comfortable buying it at these levels. But yeah, usually if you have money, of course you will buy all this, but the problem is that because as a person who doesn't have a lot of money to invest, I always have to pick, and I always want to be in these big companies such as Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, and these kind of things. But at the same time, I really want to be in some of more, aggressive plays, companies with more risk but also more gains, like BNGO, for example. This is one of them. I think this one, I'm holding this. I'm gonna take some profit out here, and then if it moves up, I'm gonna put a stop loss on it. But the gain on these plays are obviously more because they have more risk, and it makes sense. So I don't know, sometimes there are good plays, but when they pull back, there are also other companies that I like more, they pull back as well, and usually it ends up that I don't buy many of them because I don't have enough money to buy everything. So, and it's hard when you buy a new stock. You have to also, if you want to keep it long term, you have to also like read all the time the news for it. It's not easy actually to do that, especially if you have another full-time job as well. Right, I think that's it for now for the first round of our market. So thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for your questions. We will of course come back for market close, so join us if you are interested into that. I really appreciate that you being here. If you like the content, please follow us on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube. It will really help the channel. And if you are interested, I will again talk to you at the market close. So thanks again and have a nice day, guys. Talk to you soon.